We've all gone through onboarding and we forget what the process is like sometimes. And so when we have a new recruit come on, or somebody that has gone through, we've talked to them about eXp, they've decided they want to join. A lot of times we go, oh no, now what? And I know for our team, we can just pass them right to Maria. And Maria she handles the onboarding for us and makes it a pretty easy process. She's gone through it so many times at this point that she knows the steps. And so what we want to cover today are just the beginning steps for somebody once they decide that they're joining and what that looks like. And if you guys have questions, just fire away. We're happy to answer them as we go. However, we'll just kind of get right into it. So if I'm a new agent that wants to join eXp, or I'm a seasoned agent or anything, my first step is what, Maria? Where do I go?
My preferred method of this is to just have kind of like a pre-phone call with this new agent.
Okay.
So I can feel them out a little bit. I can find out a little bit of information about them because it does make a difference when I'm going through their application with them on how I do certain things. Let's say if they have multiple licenses in other states, the application gets filled out a little bit differently. If they are someone who is looking forward to building a team, there's certain things that I just like to discuss with them a little bit beforehand. And I always ask them if they still have any questions about eXp that I can answer prior to us jumping into the application. I don't want to feel like I'm being pushy, like, hey, all right, let's jump into the application. Let's go. I mean, I do understand that they are at that point in the process or they wouldn't be with me. But it's just my approach to getting to know them a little bit better and maybe turning it into more of a soft situation.
Okay. So somebody decides they're in. Where do they go to fill out the application? There's two things you need to write down. Everybody watching, there are two links to be able to join eXp. The first one is join.exprealty.com. All right, so it's join.exprealty.com. The other, which most people don't know exists, is actually your personal join link, which would be your first and last name, right? So mine is kevincall.exprealty.careers. All right, and that will be your personal join link. So if you have somebody that wants to, name you as sponsor, you can send them to your name, so first name, last name, .exprealty.careers. If for whatever reason that's for some people, we don't use our legal name for everything, right? So Tina's may be matinacall.exprealty.com or .exprealty.careers. Just know that exists. They don't have to use that link to name you a sponsor. It's the easier link is probably join.exprealty.com. And I'm going to share right now what that looks like. So this is the join link right here. This is if an agent clicks it, this is what they do. And where do they go from here, Maria?
We just go right to the top right-hand corner where it just says applies agent. There's a little blue box there. You want to click on that, and then it'll just take you to another screen where it's going to capture your email address.
Okay.
Whatever email address you put into this spot will be ghosted with your new eXp email address. This is something that we can change in the future. However, throughout your entire onboarding process, you will have to use the same information. You'll have to use your legal name as it is on your real estate license, and whichever email you put into this box will be connected with your new eXp email address.
So what happens here is you'll put in your first name, last name. You're going to fill out these 6 boxes that are here. You'll click I'm not a robot, excuse me, and hit let's begin. The next thing that happens is you get an email, correct?
We get our first eXp email, which is basically an instruction email that allows you to log into the application to apply to be an agent at eXp. And it also gives you all of the downloading information for eXp World so that you can get it onto your computer. It'll be just that one email. Once you get it, it takes a second or two. Check your spam just in case. I've had it go into some spam boxes occasionally, but that email will give you a very strange password, but it will allow you to get into the Join app and get that all done.
It should come within a minute or so of clicking Let's Begin.
Yes,
So if
it's very
somebody's having,
quick.
if somebody's having issues, it should be there pretty quick. All right, so the email comes, and within that email, it allows you to start the actual application process. There's a button you'll
Yes.
click that will let you start the actual application process. There are some things that somebody is going to need to do the application. They're going to ask for a lot of information. This is essentially filling out the independent contractor agreement, correct?
Yes, all of these screens turn into your ICA at the end. So that's basically what happens at the end of all of this. All of the information that you're typing in on all of these screens help eXp form your independent contractor agreement. So you want to make sure that all of your information is correct.
Right. So what do we need?
Okay.
Obviously, legal name.
Yes,
It's
you're
going to be
gonna
the
want
first
to
thing.
have your, obviously your real estate license number. Hey, you just worked so hard for that. Make sure you have that with you. You're gonna want to get paid, so please bring your banking information so you can set up your direct deposit. And then you will have to pay a few fees, nothing major, just your join fee, which is $149. So have a credit card handy or your debit card, whatever you want to use.
There's more than that.
Very true.
That they're going to need. They're going to need, so again, just if you're writing this down, legal name, right? They're not going to accept, again, I can just talk, about
If you're a
Tina's.
Michael, you can't be Mike.
Exactly. If you're Michael, you can't be Mike. Tina's real name is Matina. You have to be Matina. When you're doing that, you're going to need, like Maria said, your bank account information. That is for the direct deposit. So when eXp pays out, we all know because we're in eXp that it's paid out by a direct deposit. So routing number, bank account information, right? They're going to need real estate license
Yes.
information,
Mhm.
right? What
Yes.
state you're licensed in, what your license number is. They need your NERDS number.
Yes.
If you're currently a realtor, right, they're going to need your NERDS number. There is a way to look up your NERDS number pretty easily.
I have a little app on my phone. If you guys want to know what it is, just, or I can put in, I'll post it in Freedom Builders. So it's easy for you guys to find your NERDS number because I know a lot of people have trouble with that. So I just have a search on my phone that I use when I'm onboarding people. That way it's not a big deal.
You can also do a pretty quick Google search. Just type in NERDS number, look up, and it will take you to realtor.com where you can do that. You can put in your last name
And your license
and your
number,
license
and you're
number,
good to
and it'll
go.
pop it up. So they can copy and paste that. All right. They also need an emergency contact name and number
Yes.
and
Their
your emergency contact's email
email.
address.
Yeah,
All right.
that's really important. Most people don't have their best friend's email address laying around. Just make sure you can get to it in your cell phone or something like that.
Right. MLS affiliations, they're going to ask you if you're a current agent, they're going to ask what MLS you're a member of or what MLS you want to be a member of. And then one of the more important things that they will ask is how many transactions you're doing per year, because they need to know if that person applying will fall into the mentor, that they'll need a mentor or not. So I think if it's a less than.
It's 12 transactions. They're tweaking some policies right now.
Okay.
So I will double check the Explorer guide for you guys here soon. A lot of things were coming out at eXpCon. But yeah, if they're going to ask a lot of real estate questions about your experience. And if you haven't done a lot in the last 12 months, they will automatically put you into the program. However, if you are an experienced agent and you have had circumstances, they will listen and they will give you an opportunity to get waived from that program if it's something that they see fit and that works for them.
So once they fill out the application, they're going to get at the bottom of the application a personal code.
Actually, right before when they first log in, once they got that first email with the login, when they first log in, the code will actually be at the bottom left of that first screen before they click on the blue Let's Go button to fill out the app.
Okay, so that personal code
Is right at the bottom of the first screen.
and they definitely want to write that code down.
Yes.
And save that code. Throughout the application process, if there's any hangups, any holdups,
It allows us to verify your status. And it'll be easy to look you up in our system if we need to help you with anything.
exactly. So the application, once they hit submit, that will trigger a series of emails. We've all gotten them and they seem overwhelming. But they're really not that difficult. And if people just follow the steps throughout the email, it will make the whole process easy for them. So obviously the first email is going to be to do the application.
Yes, that was the first one that you got, was to actually fill out your application.
Yep.
Now, once you've already gone through all of that stuff, you've named your sponsor, you've filled out your app, you've chosen your MLS, you've put in all of your financial information. It turns into your independent contractor agreement. You sign that, and then that tweaks the system to start sending you stuff.
Okay, so what's the next email they get after
So the first thing you get once you've done your application, you are going to get an actual welcome email personally from your broker in charge. Whether it's Kim Curry or Tiffany Maddox, the ladies are going to send you a personal welcome email, just saying hello. It's got a little bit of information like resources within this email, and it does have a copy of the North Carolina State Guide in it for you, which is a live document that our brokers in charge use often. So it's a great thing for you to bookmark on your computer.
Okay. Obviously, there's more emails on the way.
Oh, yes,
right?
yes. The next email is actually going to be a copy of that independent contractor agreement that you signed. Because once you clicked that I agree button, it disappeared and it said, hey, thank you for coming to eXp. And now you just have to wait. So now you have a copy of it for your records, and you can keep that and look it over at your leisure.
I actually have a copy of that. Everybody should know or have a copy of this in their email somewhere. The one you actually filled out.
Yes.
This is the ICA. This is the current version. This is the May 1st version of the ICA. And all of the questions that were on the application are
filled in here. Yes. They're answered throughout here. So you'll see, your name will already be auto-populated. It's a pretty standard independent contractor agreement.
Yep.
eXp is actually a pretty cool company. There's nothing hidden in here. If you decide to leave the company, they're not going to keep your money. All of those types of things are explained to you through here. Rev share, affiliations with other companies, they go through a lot of things through this document. I would suggest that you read it when you have a moment. It's a pretty good thing. It goes through a lot of stuff for you.
This is the page we're looking at right now is going to be important for everybody. And it's right here in the middle section. Contractor was most influenced to join eXp Realty by. When they are filling out their application, it's going to ask who the sponsor, or it's basically going to ask this question. If you want them to know that, right, you want them to know that that's where your name would go. If you're in fact the person that has influenced them to join the company, right? We can get into you can get into the weeds
that's
on
a
that.
whole, that's another class
But-
and all in itself, really.
But this is where the sponsor name goes, is right there. And it's literally in the ICA. So make sure they have your legal name if they're naming you. Again, for Tina, they name Matina Call.
Yeah, they'll
in
be
that
able to
section.
search it. There's a little search where you can type the names in and find them, and then scroll through kind of a Rolodex of sorts. And there's photographs of people too, so that you can make sure that you're choosing the proper sponsor that you really want to choose.
Yeah. If anybody needs a copy of this, eXp sent it out back in May. But I'm happy to send it to anybody, the blank one. All right. So next email is.
So this one is an extremely important one, and I tell everybody to keep a big eye out for this one. It usually comes from the brokers in charge's assistant. It's usually a lady named Carrie Byers that it comes from, but this is your Google Doc. This document is to get your license transferred to eXp at the North Carolina Real Estate Commission level. They will go ahead and take care of that for you. So you do not need to go into the North Carolina Real Estate Commission for anything. They will go ahead and do that. So once you fill out this Google Doc, it's got like 9 or 10 questions on it. It goes straight to our North Carolina broker team, and they take care of getting you affiliated, and they will send you back a copy of your affiliation document.
Cool. So that's email.
That is
number.
email number 3.
Yep.
And then with email number 4, it kind of goes with email number 3. It's the copy of the affiliation document once they've gotten it done. And attached to this email is also your association and MLS documents already pre-signed by the broker in charge that you have been assigned to. So it's really important that you use the documents that are emailed to you instead of going online to get a copy, from, let's say, TMLS or one of the associations. They all have their forms online, but you do have to use the eXp ones, and it will save you a huge step of having to send them in to get them signed when they're already sending them to you.
Cool.
Yeah, and once they do that, let's see here, that's, you get your affiliation doc. The next thing after that, you submit those documents, you wait on that. On eXp's end, you're going to get something that's called a passport, which is basically your password for all things eXp. You get to activate your email. Once again, it's going to associate whatever email address you used on that first page with your new eXp email address. Most people's eXp email address is their first name dot their last name at eXp Realty. The company has grown so much. I have seen some variations here of late. They're using people's initials now in the middle or doing some different things. It's kind of neat. So if by some chance you do not want to use that personal email anymore, once your dashboard is completely built, it is something that you can update and change. But that passport login will allow you to get into all of our platforms other than your KV Core, which is an optional service, which we can get into that a little later, and your SkySlope. Your SkySlope is your transaction management software piece, and that does have an extra step of security because your client's information's in there. So that one you will also get an email for a different password. But for the most part, it is your one passport for all things eXp.
Yeah, and this is just a word of advice. A lot of us, we get onboarded, we get into the system. We have access to eXp World. We don't use it a whole lot, right? You're just caught up kind of in your day-to-day grind of doing business. Learn eXp World and know your way around it so that when you do bring somebody in, you can show them that. I think it's also important to make sure workplace and work chat. We'll probably get to that. I think that's
the next email. I was just getting ready to say email number 7 is your workplace work chat email. So this one allows you access. It's a great tool. I'm in there all the time. It is just like Facebook, but it's just eXp people. It's a great resource to network with other agents and a BIC's preferred method of communication for the first line of communication. If you need them right away, just jump in there. I do use the World a lot personally. I try to leave it open on my computer so that I can hop in there to talk to people too. But they're both equally as great when it comes to networking, other than the workplace, or I should say the World takes it a step further and you get to go to classes and do all kinds of neat things in there. But Workplace is an excellent software piece that we get to use every day. But that's basically it for the emails at this point. You have now gotten all of your eXp emails.
Okay, so the next big thing I think for people is getting their license transferred, getting their affiliation, their MLS affiliations and all of that transferred. How does that happen? Is the sponsor involved in that at all, or does eXp onboarding
No.
handle that?
eXp onboarding handles all of that for you. So once you fill out your Google Doc, they'll take all of your personal information and they will contact the North Carolina Real Estate Commission. They will take care of all of that paperwork for you and they will send you back a document. It's going to look fake, but because it's going to have this giant copy watermark across it. But it is a true legal affiliation document, and that is your proof that you are now part of eXp Realty. And that will be in your emails, and that one was email number 3 that you will get back from eXp.
Okay, so I don't have to do anything as a
No.
sponsor to make sure that.
No, sir. As a sponsor, you are here to, provide a little support and, and be there for your agent. However, they have millions of other places to go to get information and things like that. You don't actually have to handle any of those
And
things.
I think it's important just, again, I am lucky enough that I get to kind of by osmosis learn from Tina, right? Just hearing the conversations and being around. It is very, very important for everybody's experience, especially during the early days of getting onboarded, to know what you're talking about as a sponsor. If you're going to
Right.
if you're going to bring somebody into the company, I think it is important that you, whether you know the answers or at least know where to get the answers, it's important. So this is, it's such a big opportunity for us to attract agents to the company. We should know what we're attracting them to so that their experience is great and the attrition rate is very, very low. I'm going to pull up just a slide deck that our BIC, Kim Curry, sent to us, and I can send this to everybody. It probably has all of the contact for everything.
Oh, yeah. No, this is a
onboarding.
very robust
Yeah, let me see if I
slideshow
can
that
get
she sent
pulled
to
up here.
us. It
Oh, here we
goes
go.
through, it's mainly for North Carolina. If there's other people on this call that happen to be from other areas, other freedom builders, reach out, let me know. And I'll be more than happy to connect you with some people in your area and get you some state specific information. I just happen to have North Carolina on hand.
So this, again, I'm going to send this to everybody, but these are links to everything, right? I'm on board. Now what? Meet the leadership team. These are all things that are in here. So for any new agent, quite honestly, or any one of your recruits, we'll call them recruits, but you can send this to them. And even for all of you to have this is, I would store this somewhere.
Yeah, no, I think it's
where
a
you're not
great,
gonna
I
lose it.
think it's a really, really great resource, especially for expansion partners, people that are going to be independent agents. This is a really great resource because it even gets into zip forms for them and explains, little things like that some of us team people don't necessarily use. But this is a really great resource for agents.
Yeah, it is one of those things when an agent does come on, especially if they're coming from another firm where maybe they used a dot loop or a DocuSign or something like that. All of a sudden they go, oh crap, I don't have access to that. What do I do? Well, this will help them. And it's, you can do it through zip forms and DigiSign and all of that stuff. It's just a matter of you knowing where to point them.
to. Yeah.
One thing I do want to point out to everybody on the call, this is the North Carolina leadership team. I know most of us on the call are North Carolina agents. Our BICs are literally either Tiffany Maddox, who's in the upper right on this, or Kim Curry. Screenshot this if you need to. I will send this out or I'll post it in Freedom Builders so that everybody has a copy of it. And then Carrie Byers down on the bottom.
Mhm.
She's like the onboarding guru.
Oh
correct?
yeah, Carrie and I work together a lot. I've had the privilege of getting to work with our leadership team directly a whole bunch here lately, and it's been very cool. Carrie is wonderful. She is Kim Curry's direct assistant. Lucas Lockerbie still helps them also, but Carrie, if you need something, Carrie is on it. She is amazing. I've enjoyed working with her a lot.
They are all here to help us.
Yes.
and they are happy to do so. Now, if you don't get an immediate response,
Right.
they are very overwhelmed. And this team has grown, man, since we joined eXp, this team has probably tripled. The onboarding has gone down by probably 5 times. It's 5 times faster now. What would you say the average time to get actually onboarded, ready to sell a house?
Right now, I would set the expectation of 2 days, and I've seen it happen quicker, a lot quicker. I actually just onboarded an independent agent yesterday, and while we were still talking and going through our stuff, eXp was done.
Yeah.
So it like almost happened instantaneously. It just depends, I think, on the day, to be honest with you. Some days, I think last week they onboarded 734 people.
Wow.
Last week. They're onboarding a lot of people. So I would say just think 2 days, just 3 days, just to give yourself a buffer, and then you can look like a rock star when it happens in one.
Well, and I would almost say, one of the things, and this is true even in real estate transactions, is set an expectation that you think you can exceed. So I would probably tell them, look, it may take 3, 4, 5 days to get through the process. And then when it's done in 2, everybody's happy. When it's done in 3, everybody's happy. When it's done in 4 or 5, the expectations were met, right? So just set those expectations and don't make any promises that you may or may not be able to keep, right? I wouldn't tell somebody, hey, I can get you done in 2 days. I may say, it's a pretty quick process. I would expect 3 or 4, maybe 5 days, but I promise you it'll be a smooth process because we know the steps, right?
Right.
So that's our leadership team. I would screenshot this also. And again, I'm going to send this to everybody, or I'll post it in Freedom Builders, but this is where these are all the email addresses you need, right?
Indeed.
nc.onboarding@exprealty.com. If you have onboarding questions, that's where you're going to ask them.
In the world, seriously, guys, the world is a really, really great resource. I hop in there and get answers immediately. Pull a little ticket and there goes your little avatar and you're good to go. I've never spent more than 10 minutes in there without getting an answer.
Yeah. eXp World is actually pretty awesome. When we first joined, I hated it. I thought it was I said, I just want to talk to somebody. Can I just call somebody? Now I prefer to go in eXp World because I get somebody almost immediately and get my question answered immediately. So if you're not utilizing eXp World for anything, well, if you're not utilizing it, utilize it. But on top of all of the classes and cool stuff that's in there, you can get your questions answered really, really quick. In accounting, agent services.
Oh yeah, everything. It's helped me a lot just to network with the company. A lot of you on the call know me, but some of you do not. I'm not onboarded to eXp, but all of these people know me now just because I go in there and ask questions and participate in classes. And so they're all willing to help, and they're all really great, and they'll be there for you if you need something, for sure.
Yeah. More links that are in this document. Just again, this is North Carolina specific. Other states will have, hopefully their broker in charge or their managing brokers have something like this. However, when you're onboarding somebody, the process is basically the same for every state. All right. If you're doing somebody in a different country, that's a whole nother thing. And we won't get into that right now. But if it's somebody in another state, the process is the same to start the application. There may just be a couple of state-specific tweaks that happen.
Yeah, their emails are a little bit different that I've noticed in a couple of the states that I've done so far, because their brokers in charge just do things a little bit differently.
The one thing eXp is pretty cool about, though, just back on this screen where it's onboarding questions, nc.onboarding@exprealty.com. That's going to be, if you have somebody in Tennessee, it's going to be tn.onboarding@exprealty.com. So you can still get the answers to your questions. If somebody is joining in Minnesota, mn.onboarding@exprealty.com. So just know that the state abbreviations are interchangeable. and should work, for any state. Again, this is all state specific. So I'm going to send this out to everybody. It has our addresses. It's great stuff. We probably don't need to go through this whole thing, but it's great stuff to share with your recruits and with people that you sponsor.
I was going to mention too, I have another one for, let's say you have a seasoned agent that you are wanting to bring over to the company that has a lot of business, has a book of business, has deals in the works, things like that. There's another slide that is all about how to move your transactions from another firm over to eXp. So I can also share that with everyone.
Yeah, there's bringing over teams is a little different.
Yes.
Because obviously the team leader needs to come on, and then whoever's coming in underneath them, there's a touch of a delay through that process because the team leader needs to get onboarded first.
Yes, there's
So
a little extra step there. You have to do another application.
If we're bringing a team on, who would we reach out to help us with that? Who is the team onboarding person?
I usually talk, well, see, I don't know if these are the people that we're technically supposed to go to.
Who do you talk to?
I talk to Jordan Hill.
Okay. She
And
talks to Jordan Hill.
I talked to Jordan Hill and this gentleman named Seth Murphy, I believe is his name.
Okay.
They have split the country into people to reach out to. So depending on which area you're in, you'll have a specific person that you can go to that will help you onboard your team. If you have a big team, small team, whatever, they will be happy to help you. They'll pick up the phone, do one-on-ones with them. And I can get a list of who these people are for you guys, for sure.
And just for all of you, know that we are a resource for you as well. So you can always reach out to Maria@callteam.com.
Yes.
If you have a team or somebody that needs to onboard and need that help, just Maria@callteam.com. We can get you the
and I'll get you
answers,
what
certainly.
you need. Yes.
Exactly. We can,
for sure. That's what I do. I mean, I bug Jordan Hill all the time. I love her. She's all the way in Oregon. That woman rocks. I cannot wait to meet her in person. She's helped me with everything. She's definitely an amazing resource for our company, and she's a growth in the growth department.
yeah. That's probably where we should stop for the day,
yeah.
as far as
because you can get into you can get into the nitty gritty of this a lot, and the details can get a little overwhelming. There are little pieces of that, like that I didn't mention when we were talking about the application. When you're in the actual ICA, it'll ask you for banking information and for credit card information. Obviously, you're not going to use both. So the one that you don't want, you just have to put NAs for not applicable in the boxes, or it won't let you proceed. There's tiny little details that, we could get into. But I'm going to keep doing classes about onboarding, and I'm going to open up some Q&As twice a month for all of this stuff. That way we can really get into the groove with onboarding and everybody can really understand it, because it is a lot and I know it can be a little overwhelming. And I would love to be able to share everything that I know with all of you guys. That way it's as easy for you as it is for me.
So there's an application fee of $149. Is that due
Yes.
right at time of application? Do they ask for a credit card?
They do ask for it, but they do not charge you. They ask you for the information because they actually put all of the data in your dashboard. And then after everything's done, you'll get a bill inside your dashboard if you didn't set up auto draft. And then you just have to go in and manually pay it yourself. And then basically the month after you start, your $85 a month tech fee begins.
Okay.
So it's not that day, but it will be shortly thereafter.
I would tell your people, just sign up for the auto pay, quite honestly. That way they just auto draft it and they don't have to worry about.
Because then you'd have to log into your enterprise once a month and remember to go into the online payment section and click a little box and, and make sure you get it done. That way you don't want to get in trouble for not paying your fees,
I think that's actually a good place to stop, just to not overwhelm everybody. Does anybody have any questions? I see the chat. I will Heidi, just to answer your first question about the personal code is on the very first email that they get.
No, it's, okay, you got your email to log into the application. You've logged into the application for the first time. It's gonna be the bottom left-hand corner of the first page of the application.
Okay.
You haven't even gotten into the application yet. You haven't clicked the Let's Go button yet. It's just that first page that gives you a summary of what the application is about. The code will be down at the bottom left of that one.
Okay. So there you go. I will absolutely email Pam. I will absolutely send you the ICA, and I will put the copy of the slides in Freedom Builders. I think I can upload them there. If not, Heidi, I will definitely get them to you, but I should be able to get them to Freedom Builders or post that in there. And that way you'll have all the links for everywhere.
Yeah.
And again, if you run into issues or have questions on it, Maria's accessible.
I'm here.
Just reach out to her, and we can certainly help you do that. And it's maria@callteam.com.
Yep.
So, all right. Hey, Paul, look at Paul looking handsome up there.
What's up, man? Yeah, does anybody have any questions right now that you would like for me to go over? Anybody in the pipeline coming this way towards you that you need something real quick?
And keep in mind, this
So are you
is-
going to do this? Oh, sorry about
Go ahead,
that.
Paul.
Is this going to
No, go
be
ahead.
something that you do on a regular basis?
Yes, I'm gonna keep doing this. Next week, I'm gonna go to eXp Con, so I'm not gonna do it next week. But I'm gonna keep going. It's gonna turn into a twice a month thing. This month, I'm gonna do it obviously today and then the week after. I'm not gonna do it Thanksgiving week. And then in December, I'm gonna set up 2 days. It'll be a Zoom for whoever wants to jump on and just ask me whatever you want. It'll be more of a laid back Q&A kind of situation.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think-
sounds good.
Yeah, I think the idea is we can get a little bit, a little deeper in the weeds on some of the, after somebody's onboarded, what it looks like. And then we will just have kind of Q&As as they go, because
Yeah.
truth is, as this group gets bigger, like Sergio, brand new agent from Florida joining
Hi,
us.
Sergio.
As the group gets bigger, more and more people come on.
Hello,
So it's
everyone.
good to have these refreshers anyway. And
Mhm.
let me see, we will find out your managing broker for you.
Where's he
Sergio.
at?
What part of Florida are you in?
I'm in Miami.
He's in
Near Miami? Oh, okay. I know that. Oh, wow.
Cool.
Yes.
We'll get it sent to you, Sergio.
Perfect. Thank you.
Make sure you know, all the contact info for Florida for sure. But yeah, we'll certainly post in Freedom Builders the link for next time, and it's going to be in 2 weeks.
Yes,
for this?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 Wednesdays from now.
Should be 2 weeks from today.
And then twice a month from then on out, I will help you guys with any kind of onboarding. And obviously in between, if you guys have questions, you have my email. I also have a Calendly account that you can jump on. I have several different types of accounts on there for different types of meetings, whatever it is that you may need. So feel free to jump on there to reach me also.
Any questions from the audience?
Agent that's capped
Okay,
at another brokerage.
yep.
How long does eXp recognize that?
They will, it's a case-by-case thing for cap deferment.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some details involved in that. That's getting a little into the weeds.
Yeah, well, that's definitely something that I will cover with you guys because I've had different experiences with cap deferment issues. Sometimes if the agent is really good in production, it's not a good idea for them to go down that road because they end up losing money in the end. I can show you some math on how that works. So yeah, you want to be careful offering cap deferment to people. It's something that I kind of keep in my back pocket and don't really talk about.
Okay.
Yeah, it's certainly a possibility. Again, there's some details behind
But
that.
yeah, it is there. It is there. It is there for you though.
So we can get more into that with you, Cliff, for sure. All right, everybody. I think that wraps it up. We only took 50 minutes of your time. How about that?
That wasn't so bad. then.
hope everybody
Cool.
learned a little something, and then absolutely reach out if you need anything. I will get these files posted up into the Freedom Builders group, so they should be accessible. I think Jenna's on here. She may be able to help me with that also.
Awesome.
All right, everybody, have a great day.
Thank you guys so much,
We'll
and
see
I'll
you
see
next
you next
Okay,
time.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right,
See you
Welcome.
guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.